Okay, so I am going to show you the Elite Morning Production Routine. This is used by many of our Elite mentor shops, and I'm going to share it with you. So these same routines can be done with other management systems. I know that a majority of you are using CCC One, so we'll use this platform to show you our morning routine, and hopefully you will like this. So the first thing I do is I will pull up our production schedule dashboard, and most of you know where that's located, up here at the little hamburger, and you just choose your production schedule dashboard. I then go and I sort this. So instead of showing all, which would include scheduled vehicles and things that don't have repair plans yet, we're going to want to take a look at just what is supposedly on the property at this given moment, right? So I'll preface this by saying this is a routine that is typically done the night before you go home, or my preference is always to do it first thing in the morning when I arrive. So either way is going to work fine for you, but I prefer to do it first thing in the morning. So I'm going to change this from all to show me just what is currently on site, right? That's really all I care about for this morning routine. So now I'm looking at it by what's on site, and you'll notice that all of the vehicles are in no particular order. We've got ones in paint, body, and what I really want to do is I want to set this up so that it looks like on my screen what's actually going on through my shop. And so what I do is I just simply sort this now by current phase. So now I can look at it and I can say, okay, I've got these vehicles in pre-production. So I've got one in check-in that must have just been dropped off. I've got one in blueprint, one that's waiting for parts, or what we call production ready criteria. It's waiting for something before we can put it into the system. We've got another one here in blueprint, and then it goes into some of our production phases like body, refinish, assembly, and then if you had some in detail, they would follow that. So this is just a test environment that I'm showing you this. So there's not a lot of cars in it. You know, typically most cars are going to have probably 20, 30, you know, and for some of you bigger shops, maybe 50 cars on your dashboard. So this is just a small sampling I'm using in a test environment to kind of teach you how it's done. Okay, so once I've sorted these by current phase, you'll notice that we've got some vehicles in red, and typically red is to draw your attention that something is overdue. It's past due, and that typically is going to require some kind of an action. So as part of my morning routine, instead of changing any of these right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to print this, okay? So another alternative is for those of you that like to use tablets, you can do a walk through your shop using a tablet and update things on the fly. For some people that I've talked to, they feel that it's a little bit cumbersome. And so whatever works best for you, just know that you can use the CCC One app on a tablet and you'll get the same basic effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to print this, and I'm going to print it by not grouped, right? So I want you to pay attention to that. Not grouped is going to give you a much shorter document than if you were to sort it by one of these other methods. So not grouped, it's going to give you a clear, concise, and as you can see, it's only one page, and I'm going to go ahead and print this. And when I print this, then I'm going to just put it on my clipboard, and I'm going to walk through the shop in the same order that cars would progress through my production system, right? So if I've got completed vehicles sitting outside, I would acknowledge those. If I've got vehicles in pre-production phases like check-in or in blueprint, waiting for parts, things of that nature, body, paint, assembly, detail, and so on. So I'm going to walk through the shop, and I'm just going to first of all, I'm going to make sure that first of all, we've got all the cars that are on the property are accounted for on your printout, and vice versa. Everything that's on your printout, you want to make sure that that is actually somewhere on the property. So that's one of the first things that we're going to do to make sure that we've always got all the vehicles accounted for. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to go through and document is everything in the correct phase? And so maybe this Jason Hawk vehicle and this 4Runner, maybe you've noticed that it's out of blueprint now, and it's waiting for some parts to show up or whatever. So you're just going to use this printed document and write little notes to yourself. Then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to check my dates. I'm going to make sure that my completion and my scheduled out dates are accurate. And if it doesn't look like we're going to make one on time, like this one here is in some serious problems because it's supposed to go out in September and here it is November. So I'm probably going to make a note that, hey, there's something going on and we need to update this when we get back to our desk. Okay, car's been here 38 days. The other thing I'm looking for is what is our parts percentage? And we have a standard at Elite where we require that 100% of the parts are on hand, which would be a little green check mark on your production schedule dashboard or indicated by the word done on this printout. So we're looking for anything that's in paint or after to have a done. And you'll notice here that we've got a vehicle already in paint, and for some reason we don't have all the parts. So when I get back to my desk, or if I'm using my tablet, I'm going to go look at that RO and find out what's missing. Okay, same thing with the labor percentages. I'm going to make sure that everything has been assigned. Okay, so once I've done that, then I'm going to go back with my piece of paper here, and I'm going to go back to my desk, and I'm going to simply go in and start getting everything updated. So for example, you noticed on your walkthrough that this vehicle that came in on Tuesday night still hasn't been checked in. So I'm going to go ahead and move that until we get rid of the red and find out what's going on with that, right? This one here, you'll notice that yes, in fact, the parts have arrived for that and it's ready to go into a body phase. So what you would do in that situation is maybe you would update it to a different repair phase, and you can do that. You'll notice that our Elite shops, we use different pre-production plans than we use for in production. So in this one here, we're going to change that to a production plan. And we're going to give it a start date of the date it became production ready. And we've got all sorts of crazy stuff happening here. So then we'll go ahead and give it a start date. And so now we've put that vehicle into body, even though technically it shouldn't be in body because we don't have any parts for it yet. So anyway, you get it. So we're making adjustments, updating. So here we've got an outdate problem. So anyway, we're just going through making adjustments and asking questions, right? If we've got some parts missing, or we notice that, for example, you know, this hasn't had all the labor assigned on it, I may go ahead and send a task to whoever's in charge of assigning the labor, and I'll go in and I'll create a new task, and I'll assign it to whoever's in charge of that. In this case, it's Mr. Dirk here. If I put a due date on it, and I'll just go assign labor, please. So this is a good way to help hold people accountable without having to leave your desk, right? And so now he's going to get a notification at his desk that there's some action that he needs to take. Another thing that we like to do is if we see something that is out of standard, a good way to do that. So this one has 75% parts, and we went into the parts screen and we know that it's missing a lamp. And so we can put a note in here, lamp due 11/7 or whatever, right? And that way, when we've got the comment in there, and then we're going to actually print this out now that we've updated our system, we're going to go ahead and print it. And this is a great document to go ahead and print and use for your morning production meeting. And you'll notice that that little comment that I just put in there prints out. So it says lamp due 11/7. So during our meeting, we've got some good, clear communication on what's supposed to happen and when we can expect the parts we need to go ahead and put this vehicle back together when it comes out of paint. So again, hopefully this helps you. This is just a routine that myself personally and a lot of our shops use every day to help start their day off in the right way. I hope this serves you well. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.